So what I wanted to do is, first of all, I wanted to thank everyone for joining us in today's demonstration on the ARCHIBUS Strategic Space Planning module. As well, we're going to cover some of the printing enhancements that have been made in version 22.1. These topics were selected by you as those of you who participated and gave your feedback in the survey questions that went out. I'm excited by the response to both the survey and this demonstration, and believe that we'll have maybe somewhere around 14 or 15 universities represented today. My hope is that these meetings will become a regular occurrence where we can share new ideas, new updates, and new solutions. In order to provide as much time as possible to the demonstration, I'm going to stop talking shortly, and I've muted all the participants today and just ask that you use the chat function to ask questions that we can address if we have enough time at the end of the presentation. I would also encourage everyone to reach out to me directly to schedule a follow-up session in person or making use of these WebEx tools. The session today will be recorded, and I'll send out access instructions to everyone later this week. And with that, I want to introduce Amber Severson from our Charlotte office, who will take over the presentation.
Thanks, Chris. So we're going to be starting with strategic space planning today. We have a brand new application. This is brand new to version 22.1 for us. And we'll be working a lot with the strategic space planning console. The goal of this application is to help you plan and allocate space over a period of time so that you can track current data and project future needs and costs. You can create different funding scenarios and then evaluate and compare them to see which one best suits your needs. Strategic space planning is going to give you the ability to leverage your current utilization information on interactive stacking plans. We're moving from department planning to overall property planning. You can do both within this application. Analyze supply and demand for space over time, whether you're looking at a space crunch or a space surplus. And then the stack plans are going to show your organizational allocations, things like vertical penetration, service areas, and any unavailable space you might have. So you can see this is one of the stacking charts that we'll see when we get into ARCHIBUS. And then we can also create block diagrams, mark up floor plans, and update these scenarios live. You'll see some of these features include clouds, arrows, text, and highlights that'll let you use different colors and different elements to mark up these floor plans and then share them with other department managers or other people that might be making these space planning decisions. So we'll start with strategic space planning and then move into some of the printing enhancements as well. Log back in real quick. So we're in the strategic space planning application. Most of the background information is going to be pretty simple in terms of just making sure you have your actual locations defined, where these sites and buildings are going to be, the buildings, the floors, and the buildings and the floors themselves, defining your organizations, and you can also define your organization highlight patterns, just making sure that each one of your divisions and departments is assigned a different color. And that can also include hatch patterns as well, but we kind of stick to colors just because they're a little bit easier to see. And then one of the things you might do before you get into the console is define any of your space requirements. So if you have something that you know is going to happen and you might want to include that in several different scenarios, the space requirement lets you store that information so that you can then further use that space requirement in multiple different scenarios. So this is a sample data set. So we have these different portfolio scenarios here. This is where you could add a brand new scenario. And when you're defining your new scenarios, you just give it a portfolio scenario name, a description, whether or not you're going to allocate this floor space by division, department, business unit, or your functional groups. And then what's the start date for this?